Another part is the timbre. That's one of the a little less immediately clear parts of the voice. It's the color of the voice, is the way our voice sounds. Is it silky? Is it rough? We can say the same words, but how is the presentation? Does it sound like a violin or like a drum, or does it more sound like a trumpet? That's the timbre. And the amazing thing about music is that while also our eyes are pretty good distinguishing colors, we, for example, can see up to 150 different shades of color when we look around, our ears are much more fine-tuned. Any idea how many different emotions we can understand when anyone is saying something? Our ear can hear more than 1,300, and someone calculated it 78 differences in the tone of our voice. The tone makes the music. It's a saying in my German and a native language, origin from Austria. The tone makes the music. Whatever we are saying. Give you another example. A song you might know, the original composer had quite clear intentions. He wanted this song to reflect his depressed and gloomy state of mind, until his congenial co-songwriter thought, no, I want to lift this up to give a different experience with the same lyrics, with the same music. Listen to this. The first one is the original, and the second one is then the version everybody knows.
Now these days are gone, I'm not so insecure. Now I find I've changed my mind, opened up the door. Help me if you can, I feel. But now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the doors. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Wow, day and night. It's been a hard day. Well, no pun intended. It's been a hard day's night. But yes, it's such difference. The same words that we hear. How about your clients? When you call blank, fill in a name. Who are you calling often? And they pick up. How do they say hello? How do they greet people, you in that case? How do they greet their colleagues in the morning? How do they open the meeting? With the same words. What is the timbre they radiate? Do you hear more like of a rainbow? Oh, does it sound like, oh, this person's really happy to see me? Or do you hear like a rain cloud? Well, I can like have hundreds of variations when someone picks up a hello? Ooh. Hello. 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 The 4 pitches, right? And the timbre makes a massive difference. All has to do with how do I come across, how my executive presence when I talk with anybody, like during the day. And this is again something, you even said it, you didn't show your hands, you don't see yourself as musicians. I bet most of your clients do not think of that power their most powerful instrument has. They do not think about this every day. So that's a wonderful help that you can offer, really giving them feedback on how do they sound? How do you sound actually? Even maybe you mean it, maybe you don't, but it comes across a specific way. Even in singing, not even in singing, before we sing a note, before we sing a tone, let's say yesterday, I'm not gonna just sing it, I need to think it first. So that's like a technique for singers. Before producing a tone, we need to imagine it first. And then the note comes out. If I wanna see in longing way, yesterday. If I want to see it more aggressive, yesterday. You get the idea. A fascinating study that that has been done is it's not even about the words. It's also about exclamation without words, like huh, huh, oh. We are able to differentiate up to 24 emotions just by hearing exclamations without the words. And someone made a wonderful overview, and I will share this link. Please remind me if I forget later in the chat with you. You can go through all these emotions and click on it and listen to how it sounds. So when someone is triumphant, or relief, fear, all these exclamations that we do all the time also tell quite a big deal about how we feel and our internal state of mind and our emotional, psychological well-being. So whatever you communicate or whatever you not communicate says a lot about you, and like further, obviously about your clients. So pick up also what are the typical ways of communication without words. What are the exclamations they make all the time? What do they mean? What does it mean? Anything? Are they aware of it? Help them through this as well. All right, let's look at the volume. Is someone managing by decibel all the time, and everything they say is always so important to make sure we hear it and we understand it? I once had a boss who was really managing by decibel, but with the opposite effect. And basically everything was important and nothing was really important, So loud versus soft with voice does not equal big versus small. And it also does not equal strong versus weak. I have one question for you. When you think of an orchestra with all the instruments, from the flute to the trombone to the timpani to the organ, maybe to the violins, what do you think is the loudest instrument in the orchestra? Feel free to unmute, shout it out. Tuba, we have any ideas?
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
Drum.
The drums. It's all big and mighty instruments, like cutting through. What is fascinating? These are great answers. What is fascinating? One of the most powerful instruments in the orchestra is one of its tiniest, a piccolo flute. Tiny, tiny, tiny little instrument. You can hold it almost in your pocket and carry it around in your backpack and make massive noise with that a piccolo flute. The reason for that is something that is a little bit interesting. Our ears we are not hearing all the frequencies, low frequencies and high frequencies, with the same loudness. We are primed to hear high frequencies louder, and low frequencies we hear not that loud, we hear quieter. The reason for that is that our ears are primed to hear baby screams. When a baby screams in that frequency range, that's the sound we are primed to listen to, protect, to run. And we don't care if the waves rumble, like at the Pacific Ocean, always rumbling to the shore with a low rumble. We don't care, that's background noise. And that's an advantage of the piccolo flute. While it's tiny, it's mighty because it's in a high frequency range and it pierces through everything. So it doesn't even need to look that much power to cut through everything. So it's not about big and powerful, it's about being very effective and using a frequency range that is really powerful. Help your clients understand the effect of their voice better. There's so much more to say about this with some of these methods that we just looked at. About the pitch. Be aware of what is a usual pitch? What is their inflection rate? What is the effect it has on you as a listener? Does it transport the message they want to present? If they're always questioning, but they make a clear statement, there is some kind of ambiguity, right? Help them understand this better. The rhythm. Are they fast speakers? Are they slow speakers? Are they taking pauses? Are they listening to others as well? I mean, most of being a good leader is a good listener, right? How well do they listen? The timbre. What is the usual color of speech? Do they elicit a rainbow, or do they more feel like a rain cloud because no one ever made them reflect and think about it? And as another point, volume. What is their natural speaking volume and how can they manipulate it? So we haven't really looked at solutions here, but for the volume also, how can you change your volume? If you want to make a point, hit it home and say it loud, or also just say it in more softer ways than you would usually think it's right for you.